Hello, boys and girls. Today we are going to learn how to write a literary essay. Your goal in writing today is to learn the meaning of an essay. We have been putting ourselves inside the story while we read by picturing ourselves in the setting of the story. And now today we will now write about either a character's feelings and traits, character change, character relationships, or the theme/lesson learned. Right now, you may be asking yourself the question, what is a literary essay? Well, let's learn what that is. The definition of what is an essay is a short piece of writing on a particular subject. Now, the difference between an essay and a literary essay is that a literary essay is an essay that tells about the theme or big idea in a book you have read. So when the topic you cover is a subject from literature, you want to focus on the character, the theme, the plot, or the big idea. And we are going to be focusing on the character. Last year in second grade, you worked on writing book reviews on books that you have read. Here we have an example of a book review written by a second grader. You'll notice that this second grader was writing to try to persuade someone to choose a book that they liked from the library. Really interesting. I notice that Brittany, the writer, is trying to persuade Jordana why she should read the book Lily's Purple Plastic Purse. That reminds me of opinion writing that we have been working on the past couple weeks. Now let's take a look at what we are expected now with literary essays. You are going to notice that literary essays are a lot like opinion writing. Here on this side of the screen, we have a literary essay written about Goldilocks and the Three Bears. What are some things that we notice? Let's look at this first sentence. In Goldilocks and the Three Bears, Goldilocks is selfish. That seems like an opinion, or what we call in literary essays, a claim. In the beginning, Goldilocks eats porridge. She eats all the little bear's porridge without thinking about him. Another time, Goldilocks breaks Little Bear's chair and she doesn't even care. Wow, that seems like evidence from the text. Maybe these literary essays aren't going to be as hard as we think they may be. Now, let's take a look at what we need to include in our literary essays. So, literary essays, they should have, oh, look at that, an introduction paragraph, body paragraphs, and a conclusion. Wow, this reminds me so much of opinion writing. The only difference is it's about a book and not about things in our personal life or our opinions. I see here that our introduction should state a claim about the literature, name the piece of writing that we are reading with the title of the book and the author, and connects the claim to the literature. Also, we have body paragraphs. For every body paragraph, we want to state the claim, right? Just like Goldilocks is selfish, they had a support of why she is selfish, and have evidence to support it. And at the end, they have a conclusion. So when we are focusing on the character, there are different ways we can grow our ideas. You have been working on using a Foursquare while reading a story to help jot down your thoughts about these ideas, about the traits, relationships, changes, and life lessons. So we have been using this paper while reading the story. Today I want to model for you how I can use my claims about text in order to write a literary essay about Winn-Dixie. The first part of a literary essay is the claim. And this is going to be my sentence starter that I am going to use to help me come up with a strong claim. So it says here, boys and girls, in the beginning of the story, the character seemed blank, but eventually we learn that the character is really blank. I really like this sentence starter because it shows how the character was in the beginning of the story. And then you would fill it in depending on what book you're reading and what character you're talking about. And then it shows how they are in the end. My example for you today is about Opal. So at the start of the story, Opal seems lonely without friends. We eventually see that she opens herself up to those in her new town and makes lots of friends. Wow, that character has definitely changed. So now here, boys and girls, you see a excuse me, graphic organizer that you can use when you are plotting out your literary essays. So I am going to be writing a literary essay about Opal and how she has changed from the beginning of the story to the end of the story. I am going to put my claim that we just talked about in the beginning. I am then going to find 3 supporting pieces of evidence to support my claim and why I think she changed from being lonely to then having many friends in Naomi. So let's take a look of how I would do that. So here I have my graphic organizer from the slides that I moved over to a Word document in order to help me create my ideas of putting my literary essay together. Underneath, I have written my claim, and my claim is that in the beginning of the story, Opal feels lonely when she moved to Naomi. But eventually, she makes a lot of different friends, and at the end, feels very loved. Wow, my character changed from the beginning to the end of the story. Now, I have to support this claim and show the evidence from the text of how Opal changed and why. So here, for support number 1, well, I want to support the beginning to show how she's lonely. Let's think about, when does Opal feel lonely? All right, Opal doesn't have any friends at the beginning of the story until she goes to the supermarket where she meets Winn-Dixie, and that becomes her first friend. Let's see if we can come up with a second support of how Opal changes. How Opal changes is how she meets Gloria Dump. Remember, the Dewberry Boys were telling Opal that Gloria was a witch? Well, Opal didn't believe them and gave Gloria Dump a chance. And they ended up being really close. And Opal shared so many stories with her. So already I have 2 supporting pieces of evidence to show how Opal changes from being lonely to being very loved at the end of the story. I am now then going to take these pieces of evidence to turn my information into an essay. So I hope you liked this video today to start your literary essays and brainstorming your ideas. Keep up the great work and check out the next video to show how we're going to make it into an essay.